Annie's. They got bought. Well, there you have it, folks. We're back once again, just like that, with the Ted and Austin Broer Show, bringing you the world news and health research. I got a can of Fit Food this morning. I made one actually earlier today, about 20 minutes ago earlier today. And Fit Food in the purple stick, that's that morning stack. I actually threw it on the site the other day at a discount, and I also threw an email out on it as well. It's a really good kit if you want to run it. First thing in the morning, it's probably one of my favorite stacks if you're not going to eat eggs. And this is it right here. I put it together a while back ago. Basically 2 cans of Fit Food and a can of Purple Stick, 1 scoop or 1 packet of Purple Sticks. Really get you going in the morning with some good protein, really no carbohydrates, and a really fast, easy morning energy breakfast kit that'll get you rolling full throttle right out the gate. So be sure to check that out if you want right now at healthmaster.com. You can grab it in a can or you can grab it in the sticks. Obviously, the sticks are going to be a little bit cheaper. The can's a little bit more expensive, but vanilla chocolate, pick your choice on there and go with it. And give me some reviews. I only got 1 review on it. If you tried it, let me know how you feel and let me know what you think. Other than that, also, too, some health articles we're going to cover today. This is one on here, I talked to you yesterday about the cortisol buster, and last week we covered supplement brands have essentially become these corporate assets now. These equity firms are coming in and buying up just pretty much almost every major health store or major health food brand across the board. And it's starting to become very strange because it's very difficult who you can trust anymore. That's why here at Health Master, I've told you guys I don't sell anything. I don't sell as far as my info. I don't sell your emails. I'm never selling out of the little hat corporate asset companies. I have no interest in being involved with them because they always find a way to pretty much screw you over, fortunately. And so we found another company now that makes a bunch of food product, and now they're claiming that it's starting to compromise the quality of it, allegedly.
Well, General Mills owns Annie's, and I've promoted their biscuits before on the air, and I'm kind of frustrated now because they're saying they contain phthalates, which are plastic-derived products, and and so a lot. And we've warned you guys over and over and over again. You never cook this stuff with plastic wrap on it in a microwave. I don't know how to make it any more clear than that. Take your stinking microwave, and it's a stinking microwave, by the way, and I have no apologies for that, and put it in the stinking dumpster. They match each other. They both stink. And, I'll use mine every once in a while to heat up some, oil or something like that for
Butter.
whatever. But no, I won't even put butter in it.
You put butter in there more now?
Like a massage oil, I'm going to put something on my skin, but that's very, very rare. And I always use something ceramic before I do that. I mean, my microwave has not been used probably in 2 years. And don't have it in your kitchen. It's too easy to use. And never, ever take any food that's got plastic wrap on it and heat it up in a stinking microwave. It just melts the plastic into the food. It's unbelievably toxic. And now General Mills, that basically owns Annie's, is coming to this massive class action lawsuit because they're talking about how healthy the food is. But now they're saying it contains phthalates because of this.
They're saying the mac and cheese is certified organic. I've made the doggone macaroni and cheese for the kids before.
And now we take it out of there. And I'll take it even if it's frozen, and I'll put it in a cast iron or stainless steel pan, and I'll heat it real slow.
But still, though, I mean, that's irritating. The problem is with a lot of this stuff, you don't need, and it comes down to exactly what I just said. Once the company gets bought out by a big asset corporation, like General Mills bought them, I guarantee you if you pull up General Mills.
I'm looking at it. I can't pull it up right now. It's kind of like that's why you see me punching on the computer.
Yeah.
And I can't get accurate information on it. They're not saying who owns it. So it's just, I'm trying to figure it out with.
Stand by.
Yeah,
Give me 1 second, guys. I'll make this
happen. Never mind. I found
it's right there. Yeah, I just
BlackRock,
pulled up.
BlackRock, Vanguard,
Give me camera
State
4.
Street. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, there's General Mills. I knew it. General Mills bought out Annie's a few years back. Top institutional shareholders.
BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street.
Vanguard portfolio, Charles Schwab, Morgan Stanley.
Let me say something to you, and I don't even know how to. I just feel like sometimes I feel like I'm just a redundant, just recording. I don't know how to tell you that the people that run this planet hate you. They don't care if they don't care if they feed you phthalates. They're spraying you with chemtrails every day. They don't care about you. They hit you up with that doggone thing you called 6 years ago, locked you down. Anthony Fauci lied about it 100 times and took the fifth. They don't care what they do to you. You're a giant lab rat experiment to them. You're a petri dish, is what you are. This planet's a petri dish, and all they want to do is experiment on you all the time because you are made in the image of God. They hate God. They really, really hate God. Because of that, they hate children because the children are so innocent. Even Jesus warned them in the New Testament. You touch these kids. Let me tell you something, buckwheat, and I'm paraphrasing. Here's what's going to happen to you. It'd be better for you if a giant millstone was put around your neck and dropped into the deepest parts of the sea than to have to deal with what's going to happen to you in the next world. God's going to have justice on you. And you see this stuff now, like this thing with Hayden yesterday. Now we find out that she said she was trafficked as a child. So then when she's 18 years old, she put on a yacht, and they basically wanted her to have, relations with a person on the yacht. She's 18 years old, and she's talking about it. Now, she's not even talking about what happened to her when she was younger. Okay, and then she's in this abusive relationship with this guy beating her all the time. This girl has some serious mental issues, bless her heart. I feel bad for her. And then she was an alcoholic. She got hooked on wine, started gaining weight. And she got a whole thing that happened to her as she was getting younger. And now I'm going to say something. This is very, very important that you listen to me on this. We had a girl who worked for us years ago. Great girl. Also knows who I'm talking about. And I've mentioned this to you before, and I'll say it to you again. She was going to have a summer job working in a luxury yacht on the Mediterranean. I mean, like a 200-foot yacht. And I warned her.
I traveled the Mediterranean and Europe, too. It was a big deal.
And I warned her. I said, this thing's a floating orgy. I just said that, didn't I? Maybe the Bible says stay away from orgies. And she goes, well, no, it's not. And I'm like, yeah, it is. And I said, they're going to bring all kinds of people on board. And I said, and they're going to see you, and you're pretty, and they're going to expect you. She goes, no, they wouldn't. I said, yeah, they will. And finally, she talked to her dad. Her dad told her the same thing I told her. This is just not something you need to do. So if you're 18 years old and somebody invites you to their hotel room, that's just a big no. And now if you go up there willingly, what do you think's supposed to happen up here? I mean, it happened with a fighter. I mean, that was Tyson, wasn't it? He invited
that has happened to a few of them.
Yeah, he invited some girl to a hotel room at 2 or 3 in the morning. She ran to the hotel room. Oh, he raped me. Well, I'm not saying he didn't rape her, but I'm saying she shouldn't have gone to the hotel room to start with.
At 2 a.m.
At 2 o'clock in the morning. What do you think was going to happen? You get on a yacht and you go into some bedroom in the bottom of this deck or whatever, and some guy's in there waiting for you. What do you think was happening when you're 18 years old? Why do you think they brought you on board? And I remember Mancow told me years ago, he went to one of those Babylonian parties, didn't know what it was, it was in California. It was in San Diego, and it was in a big warehouse complex, and he saw all kinds of crazy stuff when he walked in, and it was a giant orgy. And then one of the top Hollywood stars of that time came walking out to him and presented herself to him. Now, she was in her 20s at the time, huge star. If I told you her name, you know her instantaneously. She's been in major movies, and she was pretty much naked. And he just told her no, and he left. And they warned him the next day, you tell any about the thing about what happened here, they will have you killed. And so, this Hayden girl, she went out a few months back or a few years back, she went out and did a doggone podcast and talked about what happened to her. And maybe they were afraid who she's going to expose. I don't know. But the reality is that you don't go places like that. That old song by Three Dog Night, Mama told me not to come. There's a reason Mama told you not to go. And so learn to listen to Mama when she tells you certain things are bad. Don't go certain places. You don't need to see things. And it's a great song to listen to. I've read you the lyrics online today before. I won't read it now. But when you got General Mills that's owned by BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard buying up Annie's, and now Annie's got phthalates in them, they could have done something besides plastic wrap on these things, Austin. They could have done something. And I'm not even sure if the phthalates are coming from the plastic, but this is a massive class action lawsuit.
Well, you can't sit there and say this product's certified organic, completely organic, and it's got phthalates in it. Phthalates are unbelievably toxic. We talked about them before. They're endocrine disruptors as well. They cause all types of hormone problems, especially in young children. This isn't stuff that's good. You need to stay away from this stuff. And, you use caution. The problem is the best option is basically making your own stuff. Again, it takes a lot more time, a lot more energy, and
but you can't be guaranteed the doggone raw materials don't have it in there. When we have our products made, now listen to me for a second. I had somebody from Europe contact me today. They're taking our products, and they said, we cannot believe how good we feel. Yeah. And I said, look, I and Austin, we Health Masters, Ted Brower and Austin Brower,
him.
us, we manufacture the highest quality supplements in the world. Why do I say that? Because if we could make it better, we'd make it better because we personally take this stuff. You see us do it on air all the time, and we give it to our children and our grandchildren. I mean, I wouldn't, and I know it costs a lot. I got that, but it's the best you can buy. And it's kind of like buying a 911 Turbo S. It's the best sports car out there. It costs money to manufacture. You go, well, how do you compare your products to, turbo sports cars? Because it's the best. And see, and the thing about it is that when you have the best, you take the best, you're going to feel the best.
There you go.
You take junk, you're not going to feel good with it. Oh, and somebody said to me this morning, and trust me, it's not going to happen. We're not going to go in and do some huge, massive studio that's going to cost some ridiculous amount of money. Because you guys, one of our listeners said, well, I'm a big supporter of Health Masters, and I want your prices to rise upon your product because you put
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. I'm not going to do that. I mean, Austin and I will personally take the money out of our paycheck if we have to. I'm not doing that. And it's not in the studio. What it's going to be, it's going to be a screen. What do you call it? We call it a blue screen. It's got an LED screen behind us, right, Austin?
Yeah, LED.
And we can program it to have anything we want on the back of it. But it's going to be.
And I'm getting new chairs, guys. This chair's uncomfortable. I don't like it. I'm getting a new chair. I'm budgeting for a new chair.
I like my chair.
You can keep your old chair.
Oh, thank you, Austin. Now, you heard him say that.
He's talking a match.
But I'll try to find one. Now, the reason for that is I had back surgery many years ago.
He's real funny about his chairs, and I get it.
And I've got to have a chair that's got a real stiff bottom cushion on it. Because you notice I don't lean back. There's no lumbar in this thing anyhow. But I have to have a real stiff, I'd rather sit on a wood board. I don't like slumping.
Sounds horrible. What are you, a pirate? Wood board? Oh, the board! Gosh, it sounds uncomfortable.
Not a pirate, but I learned if my back slumps, it lets my spine do weird things because I'm missing part of my spinous process. They didn't have when I had my back surgery years ago, it was kind of a hack job. They went and started chopping away at the spinal column, taking part of the spinous process off to get to the nerve root to make sure they could get the disc cleaned out. They don't do that anymore.
Well, so answer your question, no, we're not going to be blowing an enormous amount of money and raising prices to put a new studio. We've already been budgeting this in for the last year and a half. Once we started this studio, that was not really supposed to be the main studio what we have now. We were planning on upgrading it, and we've actually held off upgrading it because we're trying to make sure we can do everything in a really, really tight budget cost effectiveness. I think we're going to use the same cameras. We may add one more camera, but we got some cool stuff, some cool ideas. I got some local people that are going to be making stuff for us. So, yes, it's going to be really cool. No, I'm not going to start charging an exponential price on supplements for an increased studio. I would never do that in my life.
The studio, honestly, is probably going to cost around $15,000.
Yeah.
Now, that's it. We're not going to go spend $250,000, which we couldn't do if we wanted to. But we're not going to do something stupid like that. I'm too good with business. So is Austin, and so we're not going to do that. So, and a lot of you have been donating. You've been sending us an extra $5, $10, $15, $20. Thank you. I appreciate that because we're going to do the best we can to keep our prices down as low as we can. In fact, we got another big special going this week again. We're going to be doing, what are we going to do this week?
Well, I'm not going to tell everybody yet. You guys might know.
We did it a couple months ago, but I loved it.
Months ago, you loved it. I'm going to do it tomorrow. It cost me a lot of money last time, but it saves you guys a lot of money, and it also increases the better experience of Health Masters. I compete against Amazon with this. I'm getting it set up, so I can't tell you what it is, but you guys can figure it out pretty quick. But tomorrow, we're going to be doing it. And, you guys love it. The thing is, my biggest thing is, not only am I trying to give you guys the best quality products, I'm trying to give you guys the best service possible. That's why we still answer the phone. And yes, guys, please be patient. I don't have 15 different staff in Thailand or India answering the phone. So when you call me, sometimes you're going to be on hold for a few minutes. It's just what happens. Sometimes people call all at the exact same time, but we still actually pick up the phone. I cannot tell you. I have dealt with 3 different companies in the last month that I deal with on a regular basis, that I have to constantly call them and leave them voicemails to get them to get back to me.
Can't talk to anybody.
Nobody picks up the phone. They never pick up the phone.
I mean, look at eBay. You can't get anybody to pick up a phone call on eBay.
I have to call them, leave them a voicemail, and then sometimes they call me back. Sometimes I got to call them again, leave them a voicemail. Eventually, they'll get back to me. And, I try not to be like that. We try to pick up the phone every single day, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And also, too, be sure and understand that when you try to contact us, because I brought this up yesterday from staff, if you try to contact us over the weekend on emails and you're trying to modify and edit and change an order over the weekend, you need to follow up and call us first thing on Monday, because we're getting a lot of these emails where people are like, Sunday night, they email us and they say, we want to change our order and we want to add this to it. That's cool. We can do that. The problem with it is we're going through all the other emails that we've also had for the weekend and trying to stay updated on them. So by the time we're getting orders printed off, because I try to print orders off as fast as possible Monday. When we get in the office, orders are getting printed 9:05, 9:10. We're railing off orders. So if we don't get to that email, it's because it's 20 emails deep, and we don't get to that email until noon on Monday, that order's already shipped out. We can't modify it or add it. So if it's something you really want to change and you place an order over the weekend, you need to call us first thing Monday, because I'm doing everything I can to get orders out as fast as physically possible. So you guys are getting your stuff. It's lightning fast as I can make it happen. There's a lot of stuff going on in the markets right now, the shipping industry, the Amazon industry, and everybody is getting more competitive with shipping. And I'm right there at the top of the front with it. So if you need to modify something, please contact us first thing in the morning, because we're railing labels out and we're getting stuff out really, really fast. And that should be a positive thing for you guys.
Also, I'm all caught up on my emails, ted.brower@yahoo.com if you want to send me an email. Now, I got chewed out again the other day.
What'd you get chewed out for now?
This is...
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
What'd you do? You know you did something.
I talked about one of my daughters, and I asked her what her goal weight was going to be because she was gaining a bunch of weight. And some lady who was really nice about it kind of chewed me out and said, "Why are you talking to people about weight?" Okay, let me stop for a second. Number one, give me an opportunity. Give Austin an opportunity. Just give us some time. I promise you we will offend you by something we say. It's just, and remember, this show is not scripted. I'm not reading a teleprompter here behind me. I could flip the cameras around. There's nothing here but a big empty room with Rich sitting here on a control board and a bunch of furniture we don't know what to do with. I mean, am I right about that?
We're moving furniture around.
Oh my God!
Moving the studio around.
No, and so the reality is that, let me explain to you what I meant by that. With women, it's funny. And I don't mean it. I'm not talking about all women now. Just most women, probably 90.
You're gonna get emails again now.
I'm in the ditch. I'm staying.
You're already. Yeah, you might as well stay in the trench.
About 95% of women lie about their age. About 95% of women lie about their weight. Now remember, when I had the clinic, it was so bad with the lying that I have a set of doctor scales that we have in a public area where we're not in a room by ourselves, but it's kind of around a corner. And I'd have every woman and every man come in, and I would personally weigh them.
Everybody
got weighed.
Right. I mean, okay, when you go to the doctor's office,
they weigh
to get
you.
A physical, you get weighed. It's not some abnormal, crazy concept. It's something I do every day as well. It's not that I'm obsessive about it. I have certain things and certain tools I track every day.
I'm down to 195 now. I'm down almost 15 pounds. I'm feeling good how I look. I'm trying to lose about 2 more pounds. I'm done. And, I know you're sending me letters. I'm getting too thin. Please stop. Leave me alone. Let me weigh 193. I need to be 193. And, and the crazy part about it is that I don't want anybody to feel as though they have to lie to me about their weight, because I don't care. Your weight is your deal. So if I say to one of my own children, "Hey, look, what's your goal weight? You're weighing about 190 right now. What are you trying to get to 240, 250, 260, 270? Where's your goal here?" And I'm saying it as a spoof, as something to try to shock them into reality of what's going on. I was told, "Sharon needs me back to buffer you by what you say." I got that. And I'm like, that's nice.
That was pretty low. Whoever said that.
That was pretty.
I'm disappointed. Whoever said that.
I mean, my wife's dead. It's kind of cold to bring up my wife here and say maybe Sharon buffered you.
That was out of line.
I mean, that was out of line. It is. And you think, well, somebody had to say it to you. Well, why did it have to be you? And why do you have to bring my late wife into it? I was asking you that question. I mean, that's a low blow, especially we're coming up on the anniversary of her passing to heaven. So don't be doing stuff like that to me. I don't do that to you. If you don't like what I'm saying about weight or weight loss or whatever, just fast forward me on YouTube. You can buzz through there, make it 1.5
buzz
time.
back to my health part.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but the thing about it is that if I can't help you, whether you're a male or a female, to lose weight, to look the best you can possibly look, then why are you listening to a show sponsored by Health Masters? Whoa! Am I right? We are a health show, right? Latest world news and health research. It's what we try to do all the time. So don't be sending me letters like that, and don't be bringing my late wife into this. I mean, don't be doing stuff like that. That's cold.
Let me say something.
You know what it did? It got her blocked and deleted. That's all it did. You bring my wife into this.
Let me take a step back.
Block and delete.
You're getting me all pissed off. You have short-term goals. You have intermittent goals. You have long-term goals. The reason why we discuss topics like checking your weight is because if you have a big target on the wall, right? You got a big target. You're an archer. Professionally shoot bow and arrow. And I got a target on the wall. And all of a sudden I say, you know what? I'm going to start shooting at that target, but I'm going to blindfold myself. I'm going to spin myself around 20 different times. And I'm going to keep shooting the target. I may be really good. I may be incredible. You know how accurate I'm going to be doing that? Blindfolded and spun around 20 times? I'm not getting anything. It's just by sheer luck. If you're looking at a goal weight, if you're looking at a goal setting, if you're looking at a goal body fat or BMI, you've got to look at numbers. Numbers are numbers. I mean, every day with the company, I run numbers. I got to make sure we can actually still cover the bills. I can't be like, you know what? I'm going to check the bank account balance in 2 or 3 months. We'll just see what happens. Just see. Maybe I can cover payroll. Maybe I can't. Maybe I can cover the show. Maybe I can't. You know how long the company's going to last? About another year, maybe. It's going to dissolve itself because nobody's paying attention to anything. The same thing with your body composition.
And with your health.
If I sit there and go, well, you know what? I'll jump on the scales in 2 or 3 months. I'll see what happens. You know, I'll get blood work in 3 or 4 years. I'll just see what happens. There's great ideas. It's probably going to be really, really bad. It's going to be the concept. If you have short-term goals, utilize them. Focus on them. Hit them. If you have intermittent goals, you have long-term goals, focus on what you need to do. It comes with anything, with health, with business, with success, with family, with kids, with life. You have to have some type of goal setting that you're looking at doing, and you have to put things in place to maintain those continual goals.
Now, a lot of people, I'm not saying this lady was one of them, you know, they have an issue with their weight to start with.
And that's okay.
That's okay. That's just your
but
goal.
you have to address the problem and then work the problem.
And because you're sensitized towards it, which, you know, I don't like gaining weight either. I was overweight as a kid. I don't like it at all. It's awful. And that's why I'm really careful. I go to the scales every single morning away. Well, you're being a fanatic. Okay. I don't care. I'll take that label. If I'm being a fanatic about my health, you're right, I am. I'm careful with it. If I gain 1 pound or 2 pounds in a day because I ate too much, I cut back the following day. It's just that simple.
Same thing if I go to a restaurant. I tell them I have an allergy to seed oil. I want it cooked in butter or avocado oil or olive oil. A lot of restaurants, there's a restaurant in Tampa now, all they use is olive oil and avocado oil.
That's a good restaurant.
That's all they use.
What's the name of that place?
You took me there multiple times.
Oh, yeah, I'll look it up.
It's busy all the time.
Oh,
It's
my
paying.
gosh, yeah.
But they don't use any seed oils. People are starting to make changes because people are talking and bringing the topics up. If we want to elicit change, whether in our own bodies, in our friends, in our family, anything, change, whether it's health, whether it's mental, whether it's societal, whether it's political, you have to actually be able to discuss something, right? Anytime you reach a point with any topic when you go, well, you can't talk about that. That's forbidden. Forboding. What do you want to, any language you want to say to it. You know what it reminds me of? That reminds me of Fauci. You question me, you question science. I am science. Don't say anything about me. Don't say anything about what I do. I mean, now there's emails coming out now. If you guys saw this, there's emails blatantly having discussions with one of the doctors from these, basically the CDC, that I am corrected on the pregnant studies, said Dr. John Mascola. Text to Fauci on January 25th, 2021. Initial studies said avoid vaccination in the first trimester due to possible fever and high rates of miscarriage in the first trimester. January 25th, 2021. Emails, text messages with Fauci to members of NIH and CDC. You know what's crazy? Then you have, that same time, Walensky strongly endorsed COVID vaccines for pregnant women, citing extensive safety monitoring data showing no increase in miscarriage.
Total lie.
lie.
We warned you guys.
This stuff is coming out now, and this is the reason why. And just remember, this is April 23, guys, 2021. April 2021. The same text messages that Fauci was receiving saying, do not allow pregnant women to get the shot, was January 25th, 2021.
You know, I hate to say it, Austin. Dog, I just want to be out, slap him
he's
upside
got
the
a
head.
face,
He's got a
just
face. You just want to slap.
Not
him.
advocating any violence.
No violence, but
gosh.
I look at him. He looks like a stinking rat.
But this is what happens when you tell everyone you can't question anything. You can't talk about anything. You can't say, why are we doing this? Where are the real, true, long-term efficacy studies, safety studies on this clot shot that they want?
Yeah, this morning I was talking to a lady in Finland, and it was crazy to me. And she said she was at the airport the other day, and she was walking around, and she got flown back into town, and she said that all the women in Finland are walking 20 feet in front of their husbands. They're like a dog on a leash behind them, snapping a chain. Oh, that's right. The leadership of Finland's female. I'm not picking on that. There's some great female politicians. There's some bad ones, but there's bad men too. But she said that all the women there dominate their husbands, and they tell them what to do. They boss them around. They do all. She says, it's awful. See, there's no continuity anymore in a marriage. It's just horrible. And we talked about it the other day, kid. Feminism exists outside of a patriarchy. Yeah, I mean, we did a whole show on it. You can listen to it. But the problem is that when you don't question the status quo, and then I said to her, I said, how do you guys? I said, were these women overweight? She said, yeah, they were all fat, all of them. I said, oh, so all of them? She said, yeah, all of them were overweight. They're all chunky. And I said, oh. And she goes, in Finland, you're not allowed to say anything about anyone's weight ever because you may cause a problem with them becoming anorexic or fat shame them. So right now in Finland, You're taught early on, it doesn't make any difference if you're 100 pounds or 500 pounds. You don't mention it. You don't talk about it. You don't say anything about it ever. Well, there's a problem. What if you've got a kid who's way overeating? What if you've got a kid who's eating junk all the time? How do you fix it if you can't say anything about it? Anyhow, but I want to read this to you. This is very interesting. Here's what we have now in the United States. And this was a very interesting post, and I posted it. It said, in America right now, she says, if a man pretends to be a woman, you are required to pretend with him.
Yeah. As stupid as that is. Well, they try to force you to. I don't. It's just
somehow it's un-American for the census to count how many Americans are in America, but yet people are pulling in by the millions. They're not even Americans. Russians influencing our elections are bad, but illegals voting in elections are okay. It was cool for Joe Biden to black out the president of Ukraine, but it's an impeachable offense if Donald Trump requires about it. People who've owned slaves should pay slavery reparations to people who've never had slaves or ever been slaves. I've heard of that one too already. People who've never been to college should pay for the deaths of college students who took out huge student loans for their degrees. Why should I pay for your student loans? I'm just asking you, but I'm not going to go there. Immigrants with tuberculosis and polio are welcome in the United States, but you better be able to prove your dog is vaccinated if you try to bring a dog into this country. Irish doctors and German engineers who want to immigrate to the U.S. must go through a rigorous vetting process, but any illiterate gangbanger who jumps the southern fence is welcome. $5 billion for border security is too expensive, but $1.5 trillion for free health care is not. If you cheat to get into college, you go to prison, but if you cheat to get in the country, you get to college for free. People who say there's no such thing as a gender are demanding a female president. What? We see other countries going socialist and collapsing, but it seems like a great idea to us. Some people are held responsible for things that happened before they were born, and other people are held responsible for what they're doing right now. Criminals are caught and released to hurt more people, but stopping them is bad because of the violation of their rights. That's recidivism. Guy rapes 25 women, goes to prison, gets out again, rapes 25 more, goes back to prison, rapes 25 more. It's okay to let him out every time. And pointing out all his hypocrisy somehow makes us a racist. Nothing makes any sense anymore. No values, no morals, no civility, and people are dying of a man-made virus. But it's racist to refer to as evil, even though it began in our own government. We are clearly living in an upside-down world where right is wrong and wrong is right. This is what the Bible says is going to happen. Where moral is immoral and immoral is moral. Where good is evil and evil is good, and where killing murderers is wrong, but killing the innocent babies is right. Wake up, America. The great unsinkable ship, Titanic America, is an iceberg taking on water. We need Jesus in our lives. You know, guys, listen to me. If you have had enough of this stuff, you've got to rely on Christ and have faith in Christ. Because, you know, I always say, this is the day the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and we'll be glad in it. It's because I got the Holy Spirit in me. And I can overlook what's going on and realize that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. But, guys, if you don't have hope in God and in Jesus, you got no hope at all, period. It just doesn't work. And everything they tell us about the planet, about gravity, about the electrostatic charge that we live in, about this holographic universe we live in, everything's a stinking lie. Why? Because they don't want us to look at the fact that if you look at the reality of what we're in and who we are and what we live in here, it all points back to the creator of the universe. We're in a mathematical equation is what we're in. And it's crazy that we won't take a look at this and look at it for what it really, really is. That's why God created us. We didn't show up from some rock that got hit by lightning. That's nonsense. But they want you to believe those lies. And they started those lies with Darwin, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse because the same people that hate you are the ones who push those lies because they don't want you to look back and see God. Just thought I'd give you that opinion this morning.
Changing gears.
Okay, what's we got next?
Sugary drinks directly linked to high blood pressure. Studies published in Circulation tracked more than 25,000 U.S. children and teens for up to 25 years. They found a direct increase in blood pressure with regularly drinking sugar-sweetened beverages, primarily with fructose and high fructose corn syrup. The number one sweetener that increased blood pressure made high blood pressure.
Stuff is the plague.
It is the plague, isn't it? I mean, it's not bad enough. You got fructose, normal fructose, which is fruit sugar. That's in amounts of fruit. You eat it, but you got fiber. You got all kinds of different things with it. And so they decided, man, we're just going to make it as bad as we can make it. Like an ultra high fructose.
You want fatty liver disease? Eat that garbage.
And I'm watching it. It's plaguing the younger generation. I mean, I'm seeing kid after kid.
By the way, guava sweetener is almost all fructose. Don't eat that stuff.
No, there's nothing worse than fully certified high fructose corn syrup from corn.
Loaded with
GMO.
loaded with glyphosate.
That's as bad as it gets. It says research examined how different dietary sources of fructose were associated with hypertension risk. They compared different sugary sweetened beverages, sodas, fruit punches, lemonade, iced tea, sports drinks, and basically fruit drinks with 100% fruit juice, whole fruits, and so forth. One of the most striking finds of the overall fructose intake wasn't the type of associated with hypertension. They found that essentially participants who drank 2 or more daily servings of sugary beverages had 50% higher developing blood pressure, primarily with sodas being the number one problem. Fruit juice did have an association, however, was not near as bad, only about 1.5%. They said basically the Coca-Cola, soda, basically sugar drinks like that with high fructose corn syrup had the absolute worst impact on blood sugar and blood pressure, even in young kids. And let me say something to you guys, and I'm watching this happen more and more, and I don't understand why, because it's 2026, and everybody's got the internet now in the palm of their hand, but nobody seems to be able to figure out that this stuff is causing and wreaking havoc on these young children, between the blood pressure, between the type 2 diabetes risk. I mean, there's a kid that I'm working with right now, good friend of mine's got a son. He's gotten overweight. He's starting to eat clean again.
How's
now.
he doing?
Good.
He's losing weight?
Yeah.
Good.
Down.
And the thing that's nice about the young kids, they're growing.
That's exactly right.
So
they can grow out of it.
They don't have to lose weight. They can grow. They can grow.
That's
Just maintain the weight and grow up.
Especially if they start increasing protein, they start increasing a little bit of muscle while they're growing and building, they can stretch out. And that's the biggest thing. The hardest part I'm seeing is once kids hold that body fat into about 13 or 14 years old.
Once they get if they maintain the body fat and they get the full height, it's a real problem the rest of their life.
When they're younger, 6, 7, 8 years old, they're a little overweight. Just start changing their diet a little bit. You know, he's drinking is water now. He runs around with a big tumbler. Every time I see him, he's got a big tumbler of water. He says he's trying to drink like 3 or 4 of them a day.
Make sure that it doesn't have any chlorine or fluoride.
Yeah, good. Yep. So, but again, this is the issue that has to change. Is you can't keep doing the same thing you're doing. You're drinking 4, 5, or 6 sodas a day, or your children's drinking those a day, and they're not being active and they're not doing things, but they're suddenly wondering why they're constantly having all these body fat issues and all these health issues. You are the problem, parent. Don't write me on that. You're the problem. The 7-year-old doesn't go to the store in your pickup truck.
Oh, that same lady who hammered me is going to hammer you for saying that now.
Fine, you can write me an email. I have a delete block button too. No, I respond to a lot of people. I respond to about 95% of the emails. However, you send me an email and want to just constantly argue with me about nonsensical things because you don't agree with them, I don't deal with that. If you're actually having an open discussion, well, I'm curious about this, I don't understand this, I don't really agree with this, but why is it this way? I can argue both sides of almost every narrative. I can. I'm very good at that. I can look at both sides of it.
You know what Scott Fitzgerald said.
Right. But however, when you start making stupid comments, like, well, you should never ask a child if, they need to get in better shape or they need to lose weight. You should never. If a child's 5 years old and 200 pounds, that's their decision.
That's the finish way.
You're the same moron that says a 2-year-old can change their gender, right? That a 12-year-old boy can start going on estrogen shots and have his genitalia cut off. That's the same concept when you start putting this stupid stuff out there. Or my 5-year-old wants to drink Drano. I mean, if that's your motto, I have no interest in having a conversation with you because you're void of all reason and logic. And that's the problem that's permeated the generation now, the United States. There's no logic or reason. There's no hard line. There's no conviction. And that's when you have to get back to the basis of biblical beliefs and Christianity and the basis of the universe. Certain things have certain consequences. There's a reason why now they're saying that basically these transgender individuals that go through these surgeries have one of the highest suicide rates of any group in the entire world.
Some study says over 50%.
That's horrible, guys. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. The reason why is because they're making life-altering decisions that are irreversible based on emotional stupidity, not science and reason. And so the same thing goes with almost every area of your life. It's just on a much smaller scale instead of cutting stuff off. And so when you see here what high fructose corn syrup is doing, if you want to keep drinking that, be my guest. That's a you problem. It's not a me problem. I'm here to give you guys the information. I'm here to give you guys the topics. I'm here for you guys to give you the logic. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't, don't. But I've been here the best I can for the last, 13 years now on this show.
Well,
all I try to do is bring the truth. You do what you want with it.
Well, the problem is the truth is a double-edged sword.
Yes, it is.
That's the Bible says. The word is a double-edged sword. I mean, it cuts both directions. I mean, if you believe what we say is great, if you don't believe what we say, it's great. But either way, it can cut you. I said this the other day. If a person's really, really in a certain lifestyle that they shouldn't be in, and they know they're not supposed to be in because it's contrary to God's word, they have one of two choices. They can dig in and say, by God, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'll do whatever I want to do. Or they can repent and stop acting like that and stop acting like an idiot.
Just own it.
And if you're feeding your kids junk food, you can say, "Don't you tell me what to do. It's my child." You can do that. Or you say, "Man, I feel bad. My kid's overweight. He can't even run. He can't even do a sit-up. He can't get off the floor without crawling to a chair and using the chair to come up with. That's a you problem. Now you made your problem his problem. Don't allow you." And invariably, the overweight parents have these overweight children. You think, "Well, I can't believe you're saying stuff like this." And every time I ever said stuff like this, I remember I always get blowback from it, even way back in the 80s. But it's still the truth. Keep your kid. I remember I used to go to Dr. Robinson all the time, and when he was alive, and we had all the kids there, and he always says, "God, I love looking at your kids." He says, "They're always lean. They're always in good shape. They always look great. They're always athletes." I'm like, "Well, yeah, because we're going to raise them that way." And now they're all good too, except for, sometimes they end up, stop.
Everybody's got to deal with their own stuff.
Everybody's got to deal with their own stuff when they're adults.
Here's the thing that I try to encourage everybody. I do try to encourage everybody. If you want to make decisions that are more beneficial for you, do it. If you don't. Just own it either way. I've done some stupid stuff before. Come back and say, "Yeah, it was pretty dumb. It was a decision I was thinking may be good, but I wasn't sure, and I did it, and it turned out consequences that I did not really want to pay for, and I did. I owned it."
Choices and consequences.
Own them. Just own them. One of the biggest pet peeves, I'll say this right now, I'm going to go off on it. When you talk to somebody, and they're always getting fired. Always getting fired. You talk to them, I got fired again. What'd you fired? "Oh, they were against me." So they fired you? They hired you just to be against you, to fire you? You can't be responsible for any actions you ever display. Never. "Oh, no, they don't want to, I tried to tell them this or do that." No, you probably did something really stupid, and just own it. Just own it. Nobody respects somebody that comes up with 50 excuses on why something happened. They don't. Nobody does.
I've had this happen before. Now listen to me. It's really important. I've learned this. I taught this to you guys.
Yeah.
If I make a mistake, let's say, for instance, I have an appointment at 10 o'clock in the morning and I oversleep, or I forget about the appointment. I've done this.
Yeah.
Okay? They call me up. "Where are you?" "I'm so sorry. I overslept. I forgot about the appointment."
Yeah.
Just tell them the truth. Don't make some excuse. "I had an emergency. I had to go to the hospital," and blah, blah, blah. You make up some lie. Just tell them the truth. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody misses appointments. Everybody runs late. Everybody forgets. So don't just tell them the truth. And if they can't accept the fact that you're telling them the truth, I say, "Look, I forgot about the appointment. Please forgive me. Let's reschedule." And they go, "Oh, okay." Well, just say, "Please forgive me." "Well, I ain't going to say that." Great. I can't say anything else.
It's the same thing comes with your diet. The thing is, I've learned a long time ago, if you're trying to get in better shape, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to get healthy, you're trying to reduce certain risk, if you mess up on a thing or you eat some crap food, you do something, just own it. Like I told you guys a while back, I was blowing my nose on the show one day. There was a sinus reaction from the
ice cream, baby.
Ice cream. So I ate an entire pint of Haagen-Dazs, binged down a pint of Haagen-Dazs. Completely and totally blemeared my own reputation with a pint of Haagen-Dazs.
Blemered means in German embarrassed.
Embarrassed. I ate it. I did what I did. I own it. But I'm not going to sit there and be like, "No, I don't touch ice cream. All I eat is chicken and rice." Granted, I eat chicken and rice like 95% of the time. But again, it's what I told you before. It's that 90-10 rule with me. If you eat clean 90% of the time, if you cheat on it 10% of the time, your body can handle it pretty well. It's just you got to own the 10%.
But you can't invert it.
You can't invert it, and you got to own it. You can't sit there and lie to yourself and say, "Well, I know I'm up 5, 6, 7 pounds this week, but all I had was, chicken Caesar salad all week. I didn't touch anything else." No, now you're lying to me. Now you're insulting me because you're insulting my intelligence, telling me that you gained 7 pounds this week on chicken Caesar salad. Just own the fact that you put an entire quart of ranch on every single time you ate it, and you put 10 cookies behind it. Just own it. I respect that way more. Now, something I want to add here. This is an article that came out, speaking of that. It says 7 common foods that accelerate brain aging. Woo! Sugary foods and drinks.
Chronic inflammation.
Number 1 food that increases brain aging. People are bringing that topic up to me more and more now. "Oh, I'm having issues with memory. I'm having issues with this. I'm having issues with focus." A, you need to be on the magnesium brain food. Boom, that's first. B, you need to be on the ultra multiple powder. B, that's second. 3, you got to look at inflammatory markers from diet. Food being the biggest culprit. Sugary foods and drinks. I just covered it with high fructose corn syrup. Meta-analysis published 77 studies with 17,000 participants on how sugar influences cognition. Long-term studies found that higher added sugar intake was linked to a significant risk of memory and thinking problems, while natural sugars from whole foods, such as fruit, appear to have protective effects. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Number 2, refined carbohydrates. This is stuff as far as like white bread, pastry, cereal.
Crackers.
If you have cereal in your house, just use it up or throw it away. There's no purpose.
Just take it back to your grocery store and just tell me you want a refund on it because it's toxic. I mean,
Your kids shouldn't even be eating it.
You shouldn't be eating it.
I don't have cereal in my house. It doesn't exist. You can go through my pantry. I don't lie. There's no cereal in my house. Even with organic, raw, certified milk, I don't even like cereal with my kids. Eggs, oatmeal, even some organic grits. You get organic grits with eggs. That's delicious. I like eating that sometimes. Little carby.
Man, your mom could make grits. Remember that?
She's slow cook.
Oh, my gosh.
Slow cook them for like an hour.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not a big fan. Like I said, make sure they're certified organic, though, because if they're not, that means they're full GMO corn. Again, not the best carbohydrate I'd recommend, but I'm from the South. I got to have me some grits and eggs sometimes. So refined carbs, though, stay away from them. Number 3, artificial sweeteners. That will age your brain quick.
Brain tumors, brain cancer, seizures, headaches. I mean, it's unbelievably
Regular intake of artificial sweeteners may affect how the brain ages. In an 8-year study, more than 12,000 adults published in Neurology, research examined whether low and no-calorie sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose were linked to changes in thinking and memory. They found that people under 60 who ate the most artificial sweeteners had slightly faster declines in memory and verbal fluency than those who ate it the least. The decline was roughly equivalent to about 1.6 extra years of normal aging.
And quite frankly, you see the verbal fluency.
Yes.
That becomes a real problem.
Yes. Number 4 on here, drinking alcohol.
How many times have we said this?
Alcohol is a neurotoxin. As much as like in the past, I like to have a couple Baileys at a Christmas party, I try to keep it a very, very rare moderation. Alcohol is a neurotoxin. It's liver toxic. It's actually toxic to every living element in your body. Your body has to process it, has to clean it out. Massively increases fatty alcoholic liver disease. Massively decreases brain and cognitive function.
And fat storage.
Fat storage. And, by the way, if you're trying to build muscle tissue and grow, alcohol is probably the most counteractive thing.
I didn't see this. All parts of the brain are vulnerable to alcohol because of how it affects mitochondrial function.
ATP,
the
baby.
Tiny organelles within our neurons produce the ATP. So you want to cook your brain. I've got a brother right now. Bless his heart. He's got hospice called on him. He's an alcoholic his whole life. And he's ruined his life. His whole life. I remember my mom got mad at him one time because of his drinking, and she said to him, Carl hat nichts geworden. It means Carl became nothing, did nothing with his life because of alcohol. And then my grandfather said to me, he goes, Carl hat ihm selbst verrückt gelesen. In other words, he read himself crazy because he was reading Nietzsche and all these other crazy German Stoic philosophers that said all kinds of crazy crap. And it's true, he's ruined his entire life. And now he's dying with hospice on morphine. You think, this is awful. Well, yeah, I agree with you. It's awful. But when you make stupid choices, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes.
That's a fact. It just is. It's sad.
You know, and I love my brother, but I'm
you
not going to
can't drink copious amounts of alcohol every single day for 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
He's case of beer a day. Case of beer.
Minimum. That's all. It was like 24 cases last time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, beer all day.
All day.
You can't do it. Next, number 5 on the list, margarine and processed vegetable oils. We talk about this all the time. Research has linked trans fats to higher risk of dementia, Alzheimer's disease, and mild cognitive impairment, general memory decline.
Omega-6 are bad.
Omega-6s, especially basically the canola oil and the soybean oil. The soybean oil, in my opinion, just my opinion, the research I've done, is probably one of the worst because of the phytoestrogens. Because not only are you dealing with GMO, glyphosate-ridden soybean oil, you're also dealing with phytoestrogens. It's not that prevalent as far as massive amount of phytoestrogen in your body from eating something one time that has soybean oil. The problem you run into is that almost everything now is contaminated with soybean oil. I mean, you look at the ranch at the store, soybean canola oil. You look at almost every other ingredient, even in natural products now, soybean canola oil. It doesn't sound that bad until you start realizing, man, you've just had 30 different servings of soybean and canola oil across the entire week, and those contain phytoestrogens with soybean. Phytoestrogens are antagonistic to basically normal hormone process, especially in young children. You want to start wrecking the endocrine disruptors, or basically having endocrine disruptors and wreck the endocrine system, and boy, put soy in it. We talked about it.
Gynecomastia. That's the
Also,
enlargement
too,
of the breast tissue.
Okay, in a young boy, when he starts getting testosterone, estrogen and testosterone are antagonistic, meaning if estrogen goes up, it pushes testosterone down. When they start having phytoestrogen increase estrogen sensitivity, estrogen in the body in a young boy, which means his natural testosterone production is going to automatically start being suppressed. This is going to massively affect him going into puberty. This is why with young boys, we have that DIM estrogen control, which for anybody.
Great product.
I run that product every single day. I recommend if you're running Tribulus or Testo Plus and you're increasing your testosterone, run DIM. It's one of the best estrogen blockers known to man from a natural standpoint with virtually no side effects.
Making no health claims here. Just help stabilize your hormones.
I'm giving you my personal advice on it. Every time I get my blood work done, my estrogen's in a very low normal range. I run usually 4 DIM every single day. Now, again, do what you need with your own dosage. But if you're taking high doses of Artribulus or testosterone, like our Testo Plus, your body's going to increase testosterone. I mean, I've had guys go well over 1,000 on their test.
We're not making any claims here.
Just
Healthy hormone function.
Seen the blood levels go up, watch the testosterone go up, push the estrogen levels down naturally with the DIM. That's my personal opinion. Do that with what you want. Number 6 on this for cognitive decline, processed red meats.
Sodium nitrite.
High-fat luncheon meats. A lot of that's ham,
Pork
turkey,
products.
sausage, pork, pepperoni. These are carcinogenic. They have inflammatory molecules that damage the body's cells and including the brain cells. Number 7 on the list, high-sodium foods.
Now, I'm going to say something here. There's nothing wrong with really high-quality salt.
But that's not this.
That's not this.
These found that reducing high sodium intake improved cognition over 6 months. This is primarily processed salt in food. Vast majority of food you eat, if it's high in sodium, it doesn't have Redmond salt. It doesn't have Himalayan pink salt in it.
It's got fluoride added to that salt, too.
It's pure bleach processed sodium chloride.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to add one more to this fluoride. It drops the IQ, destroys memory, destroys cell. It's rat poison.
Number 8 on the list, fluoride. Don't use it. Use our mouthwash or use our
Right,
toothpaste. Either which one of those, choose it, pick it, but stay away from the fluoride products. And essentially,
I like this. This is very good. It says, while an occasional poor choice is unlikely to harm your brain, dietary consistency is important.
That's what I talked about before. If you screwed up, you want to have a Five Guys burger one month, you want to have some ice cream sometime, or you have an occasional glass of Bailey's. This isn't going to have an enormous impact on your overall health.
Unless you're an alcoholic, don't touch the alcohol.
It's occasional. It's unlikely to harm your brain. Unlikely, but diet consistency is important. It's very easy to fall, though, into bad dietary habits because more dopamine is released when eating chocolate compared to broccoli. That's a good statement. Cut ultra-processed and fried foods. Cook at home. Choose natural sweeteners like monk fruit.
It's all saying date sugar or coconut sugar.
Coconut sugar is good, too. Coconut sugar. We used to carry coconut sugar, but we didn't really sell much of it. And
it goes bad.
It really wasn't much. Eat nutrient-dense, colorful meals. Fill your plates with vegetables, fiber, clean protein.
The reason they're colorful is the different colors are different minerals in the food, different nutrients.
Move often is a big one. Take short 5 to 10 minute walking or stretching breaks throughout the day to reduce inflammation and support brain function. This is a big one, too, that I'm seeing a lot of people have issues with blood pressure. This issue that I even had to work through, and I figured out how to fix it. A lot of times I get wrapped up on my phone, on my laptop, my computer. I'm answering emails. I'm on the phone back and forth, and it'll be 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, and I'll realize I've just been running wide open in a chair, and I haven't gotten up once or twice. You've got to have proper circulation throughout the day. Get up, walk, and move. If you're not getting enough of that, get a small round trampoline. I do it almost every single day. Great cardio, 5 to 10 minutes. Really, really low impact. Massively increases circulation throughout the body. Because what happens is when you're sitting down,
best blood pressure exercise you can do.
Explain it. It's
well, what happens? You have little valves in the bottom of the legs, the venous return, and they're basically one-way valves. And what happens if you don't have them working, opening, and closing? The blood will start pooling in your lower extremities, elevating blood pressure. So when you jump up and down on a trampoline, it opens and closes the valves. It's that simple. And so what happens, those valves get exercised, and then blood starts moving. This is why people get swelling in the feet and swelling in the ankles.
Just sit down all day.
Because of lack of circulation.
They got their feet up, they're reading a book, they're watching TV, and all of a sudden you realize, it doesn't sound like a lot until you start looking at it one day. And this is what happened. I started looking, I'm like, well, I was sleeping 7 hours. I got up, did this cardio, did show, sat down, went back to the office, sat down. All of a sudden, I'm like, well, I've been inactive, 15, 16 hours. Didn't even realize it. And he taught me about the round trampoline. I'm like, listen, me going to bounce on a smaller round trampoline, that sounds really gay right now. That's just not really something I want to go do. Pretty gay. And I did it, and I'm like, this isn't really gay at all. My blood pressure's better range, have better energy, better circulation, and I did it, and it works great. I recommend it highly on there, especially if you're working on that and if you're not active all the time. Prioritize sleep.
Now, this is an important one. Our melatonin is the best. Last night I went to bed at 10:30. I woke up at 6. Never got up once.
That's good.
Now, that's the way it's supposed to work, all right? And I love the melatonin. I took one about an hour before I went to bed, took another right before I went to bed at 10:30. Man, I woke up at 6 o'clock. I thought, okay, well, I'd lay back down, went and used the bathroom, got back up, and we'll lay back down for another hour, slept another hour, got up, and said, I feel great.
Well, you'll notice that when you get a good night's sleep, especially you take like the total rest, you take melatonin, you get a good night's sleep, you feel way better. I mean, it was like a week or two ago. I went to bed, and my dog Thor decided he just got pissed off at something in the backyard.
Pit bull.
I think a rabbit or a bat. I don't know. Like 2 a.m., he's barking. So I'm thinking there's someone in the backyard because he will bark at anybody that shows up back there.
Did you turn on the daylight lights?
I did turn on the daylight lights. I think Rich probably saw them the other night. I got the floodlights. I try not to use it very often, but I flip them on.
The neighborhood starts screaming when he turns them on.
Well, then I find out he's barking at like the moon. Well, then I lay back down. Well, then Stetson decides it's 3 a.m. It's time for me to let the entire house know that I am up. So he wakes me up. So I'm just like, wake up, go to bed, wake. And by the time I got up at like 7:30, I'm like, yeah,
no REM sleep.
Been up all night. So yeah, sleep's a big deal. Also, it says include polyphenol-rich foods.
They might as well list purple sticks right here with green
That's
tea.
exactly what that is, green tea.
And colorful fruits and fruits and
There's a
vegetables.
reason why we got pomegranate powder, mango powder, grape powder, apple powder, super extract blend, super fruit blend, acai powder, gram per scoop, by the way, and green tea extract. I didn't produce this product to be a turn and burn, cracked out pre-workout formula. I could make one of those. I could put 400 milligrams of caffeine in it and dimethylamine formulated, the old meth they put, tell everybody it works great for you, why it gives people heart attacks. I would never do that. It's horrible formulas that they put in these pre-workouts. Don't touch them. They're horrible.
And they're loaded with sucralose.
And they raise your cortisol to no end. I used to use them, by the way, back in my early 20s.
I warned him.
You know, Jet 3D, before they banned that one. You know, Fast Twitch. You use these products. They work great when you're younger for a short period of time. Your workouts are insane, but it happens you have massive adrenal fatigue and massive cortisol. And then after your workout for the next like 8 hours, all you want to do is fight everyone. All you want to do is get a fight all the time.
I will attest he was that mean.
I was really mean. And all you happens your cortisol's peaked out through the roof.
And
this doesn't do that to you.
And then he gets mad at me and says, "You're hard to get along with, Dad." I'm like, "Oh God, what are you on?"
Everybody's against me. I don't like that attitude. I don't choose to have that attitude.
That's why we use purple.
That's why I use that.
Oh, by the way, Colonel McGregor did a really good article the other day and a really good interview. And he said that the United States and Donald Trump is run by Zionist billionaires, period. Those are his people that have donated all this money into his campaign. And he says the United States has reached a strategic turning point. He's a colonel. In a discussion, he explains why the U.S. can no longer, shape events in the Strait of Hormuz. And he goes, and then he says, we're defeated as far as attacking this country. We cannot win this. And he goes into detail. I want you guys to read it. I could go ahead and basically give you everything he said, but I'm not going to do it. I want you to listen to him. He's very articulate, did a very, very good job. He's actually somebody I'd like to have on the show. The one thing he did not address is the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was Mossad and that Donald Trump was listed thousands of times in the Epstein files. I mean, this is some weird stuff that's going on. I mean, what we've got here is a group of people that run the planet. And I'm not saying this is Trump because I don't believe all this, that he's doing all of this crazy stuff. But we've got a group of people that basically traffic children. They basically sodomize children. They rape children. They sexually assault children every way you can possibly imagine. And then then they eat the children.
That's currency.
No. You say this is insanity. But yet we keep forgetting this. These are not people that are perverted. These are people that are criminals. These are criminals. They need to go to jail.
They're sadistic.
And the fact that we know that our government is run by these clowns, and it was actually listed in the Epstein files about the babies in the freezer, and they won't release who these people were, this is messed up.
Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of the only people in the government that came out and said flat out in the interview, Mossad ran Epstein. Epstein was Mossad. We have documented evidence for that. I put forward a bill that I want everybody to sign that is going to release the Epstein files and everything Epstein was involved in with Mossad. 2 people signed it. And quickly after that, she immediately got eviscerated by Trump on Twitter. Then she basically went in the private limo conversation. Whatever happened there, with a discussion privately, then suddenly she retires and says, I'm done. I'm not going to be treated like this.
The sad part about it is if the truth is, I'll say this honestly, if we knew who the people were and who they were and who was involved in this, we would still do nothing as a country, because we've been that beaten down by with political correctness. We would still do anything. That was the goal. Yeah. That was the goal, political correctness. Remember I said earlier? You can't question anything. Don't talk about anything. No. Don't bring anything up. Remember that one group of veterans that came in from World War II. They went back to their town. It was completely run by the sheriff, and they came into the sheriff, and they basically went in and took Battle of Athens, Tennessee. Look it up if you don't believe. Yeah, I mean, they had enough, but they don't want that to happen again. And remember, they don't want you going and meeting in groups of people, having large gatherings without having permits. They have to permit you to do it because and this is one of the things we talked about yesterday with that thing in 33. They don't want you to have the weapons that you can use. That's exactly what the NFA was about. That's because they don't want. Because remember, Franklin Delano was a communist, hardcore, And, and he made sure he got all of these guns out of the hands of the common people because he didn't want you to say, hey, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not living like this anymore. So the people here in the United States feel defeated. They feel defeated. It's like what I read earlier about that. That's why you've got to keep your hearts and minds in Christ all the days of your life. I mentioned that already once because he is the author, he is the finisher, he is the perfecter of our lives. And we have to stay with him because this planet is being run by the evil one, period. And we got to understand that. And we are able to work outside of his realm if we keep our hearts and minds grounded in Jesus. And that's the key here with all of this stuff. That way you can keep a positive attitude. You really, really can. And do me one more favor. If you're going to send me emails, just keep it positive, okay? And I'll make Austin. I'll be happy to dialogue with you back and
I
forth.
have no problems with open discussions. I like open discussions. What I'm not going to get into is some tit for tat, back and forth, pissing contest email. No. I'm not going to do it.
Especially about weight.
Well, no, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. I really don't care. It's not my problem. I'm just giving you the advice. I'm giving nutrition. I'm giving you stuff that I know has worked for probably thousands of people that I've worked with. If you don't like it, don't use it. It's okay. You're not going to offend me. But I'm not going to get in a giant argument with you when you write me 8 paragraphs about all these things that you want to know or see me change or do differently. I'm always open to discussion, but there's also something called delivery. And when you deliver something in a completely derogatory manner, I'm not going to have a discussion with you upon it because we're not going to be on the same page. Last article on here when it covers, we're about to run the clock down. I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I'm tying it back in with what we just talked about earlier with the article with the 7 foods that really mess up brain volume and brain functioning. Low vitamin C is directly linked to reduced brain volume, the study finds, as it's known for its immune support and antioxidant defense. It plays several underappreciated roles in the brain. This is one of the reasons why I recommend so heavily staying on the vitamin C on a regular basis. I use it every day. In fact, actually, my tumbler now, I've started to do this more often as long as I can remember to do it. I put about a half a scoop of magnesium and about a half a scoop of vitamin C every time I refill my 30-ounce tumbler.
Oh, so you're doing either. You're taking 2 full scoops a day now.
Yeah, but I have to spread it out. Mm-hmm. If you try to take 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 grams of vitamin C in one sitting, a lot of times your body's not going to handle it that well. You've got to take it throughout the day, and you'll notice you got better energy, better brain functioning, and better hydration. Especially so the aquatrace that we have in there, the aquatrace with the vitamin C and the magnesium really tastes good, kind of livens up your water. A lot of people say water's boring. They want to drink soda for it. Try that mixture next time, the vitamin C powder, the magnesium brain food, and let me know what you think on how it tastes because quite frankly, I think it tastes pretty doggone good, and I've definitely noticed an increase in energy since I've been taking it.
I'll say one other thing. Since I take 2 scoops of the vitamin C, sometimes I'll throw a third one in now just for kicks and giggles. And but the 2 have kept me incredibly healthy.
Yeah.
Incredibly healthy. And about a year and a half ago, I stopped doing that. I started taking 1. I got sick. I got really sick. And I thought, what the heck? But the body gets used to large amounts of vitamin C. When you start taking it, you got to stay on it. By the way, this is an interesting article by Paul Craig Roberts. The Hart-Celler Act on Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965 was a federal law passed by Johnson. The law abolished the national origins formula, which had been the basis of U.S. immigration policy since the 1920s. The act formally removed basically discrimination against Southern and Eastern Europeans as well as Asians, in addition to other non-Western North European ethnicities in immigration policy. The national origins was established in the 1920s to preserve American homogeneity and promoting immigration from Western and Northern Europe. During the 1960s, the height of the civil rights movement, the approach increasingly came under attack for being racially discriminatory. In other words, they're trying to keep America, America. And they stopped doing it in 1965, and now we have it 60 years later. Here we have such a mess.
Yep. And so again, my friends, that's why it's important to know history, know the truth, and talk about it. You guys need anything, healthmasters.com. Be sure to vote for what you want to see win tomorrow. Cortisol Buster on sale right now for Product of the Week. So vote for collagen and vitamin C are actually winning right now. Back and forth, collagen pulling on it.
Those are two great products.
Formulas on there. And stay tuned tomorrow. I got something fun you guys are going to like again. We're working on a lot of different new specials, protocols for everybody. So stay tuned tomorrow. You guys are going to be the first to know about it again. Appreciate you guys. Have a fantastic night. Healthmasters.com, #1 shop to take care of all your health needs. Talk to you again tomorrow as always.
Thank you for your support. We love you. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. And if we haven't offended you, just stay tuned. We'll try to work on that. But we try not to offend you. And if we do offend you occasionally, it is what it is, I guess. I can apologize for it, but sometimes it doesn't matter because sometimes everybody needs to hear the truth, regardless of where it comes from. I love you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.